My name is Pinokin. As a traveling bard, my life is a constant cycle of telling tall tales and being squeezed for every copper I earn. In a dusty tavern filled with tired farmers, I performed my best stories, turning the great King Avalon into a former beggar and the legendary elf queen into a figure of gossip. My words were a hit, earning me experience and a few level-ups, but the tips were insultingly small until I promised more scandalous stories. Despite my hard work, the stingy tavern owner robbed me blind through taxes and ridiculous fees for things like air pollution and tableware. By the time he was done with his creative accounting, I barely had enough for a drink, and he even tried to charge me for slamming the table. I refused to give him another cent and spent the night in a haystack, only to be kicked awake by a tax officer demanding payment for sleeping on Lord Richard's hay. I've been in this world for 3 years, and while I'm a high-level bard, my combat skills are non-existent. My survival strategy is simple: I beg for mercy. I've spent these years saving 10 gold coins by ruining reputations and spreading rumors, all for one purpose. I want to make a tenfold offering to the gods to finally get a special talent or blessing. I'm tired of being a commoner. My dream is a cozy life as a priest listening to the secrets of noble ladies. To protect my savings, I traveled alone toward the next town, avoiding the local lord's greedy taxes. However, my frugality backfired. 2 bandits jumped me on a mountain path, demanding a toll. Even with my silver tongue and high charm, I knew I was in trouble. I tried to use my skills to beg for my life, but looking at their rusty axes and cruel grins, I realized that in this world, words aren't always enough to keep a man safe. When I ran into those 2 bandit brothers, I thought my level 10 begging skill would save me like it always does. I was wrong. The system showed they were just humans, but their greed was too high. They laughed at my pleas, and when I realized they weren't going to let me go, I chose my dignity and my hidden gold over my safety. I rolled down a steep cliff, taking 30 damage from a big rock, but I escaped with my life and my coins. While recovering, I found a mysterious, glowing statue. I decided to gamble and offered it a gold coin. The statue turned out to be a tricky dragon god. Every time I made a wish, it twisted my words. I asked to be amazing, and it gave me a cow. I asked for gold, and it almost killed me with a falling branch. Finally, it cursed me with infinite weakness and stole my last 7 gold coins. In exchange, it sent me to a terrifying forbidden land for a split second. I almost died, but I managed to grab a damaged Lord Core of the Master before being teleported back. I realized this core was my chance to stop wandering. I looked for a place to plant it, but everywhere I went, the river, the mountains, the graveyard, belonged to a local leader named Lord Richard. I didn't want to start a war yet. Finally, I found a tiny, worthless of land right on the edge of a dangerous forest. It was cramped and poor, but it was mine. I planted the core and named my new home Emerald Territory. The system offered me a legendary class, the Master. I accepted immediately. It changed me from a commoner to a lord with special powers. My new talents allow me to gain exploitation points from the hard work of people in my land and plunder items from enemies. I'm only level 1 now, but the bonuses to my strength and constitution are much better than before. I started with nothing but a few magical shackles to capture servants, but I am determined to build my kingdom, even if I have to start in this narrow, lonely spot. I was so excited about my new skills and the 6 magical collars I received that I started dreaming of capturing demons. But reality hit me hard. I was completely alone. My new home was a mess, and the territory core was so damaged that I could only build basic things like a shaky hut or a straw bed. I even considered building an altar, but I definitely wasn't going back to that dragon god who cursed me. Since I had no helpers, I had to do the dirty work myself. I, a famous bard with a silver tongue, ended up swinging a crude stone axe under the hot sun. It was embarrassing, but I kept pushing because I wanted a better future. Surprisingly, the system gave me an exploitation point for my own hard labor. It turns out I can even exploit myself. I soon discovered that my territory core, Palu, can talk. He's not very smart, but he used that point to upgrade my tool into an axe of toil. It made me stronger but drained my energy much faster. To keep myself going, I made Palu shout a rhythm while I worked. He got so into it that he started shouting faster and faster, forcing me to chop wood like a madman. I was exhausted, but I earned another point for my effort. Just as I sat down to rest, I realized my clothes were gone. I looked up and saw a trickster cat sitting on a tree branch, laughing at me and holding my rope. My appraisal skill told me it was a level 3 monster that loves playing pranks. I was furious. That robe cost me 5 silver coins. I realized that if I wanted to be a real master, I couldn't just exploit myself forever. I needed to catch that cat and make it my first real worker. I was in a real bind with that trickster cat. It was fast, loved pranks, and was currently mocking me from a tree with my expensive linen robe. Looking at its stats, I knew a fair fight was a bad idea, so I played on its curiosity. I flashed a shiny silver coin and hid it in a tree hole while pretending to work. When the greedy cat jumped down to steal it, I nailed it in the head with my throwing axe. While it was stunned, I used one of my magical collars to enslave it. The contract worked, and I named my first servant Meowpa. She's energetic but easily distracted, which is fine because I have plenty of different jobs for her. I forced her to retrieve my coat, and then put her straight to work chopping wood. Seeing those exploitation points roll in from her hard labor felt amazing. It finally freed me from the heavy lifting, allowing me to craft a stone sickle and build a hay bed. By sunset, Meowpa was totally exhausted. I'm a firm but fair master. I don't provide meals, so I sent her into the dangerous forest to find her own food and bring me some berries. Her misery actually earned me even more exploitation points. I then used my points to play a gacha game with my territory core, Paulo. I got lucky and won a summon skeleton skill. It's only D-grade necromancy, but more bones mean more workers who don't need to eat. That night, I slept on my new hay bed under the stars. When Meowpa returned with my berries, looking like she was about to collapse, I actually let her share the bed. She thought I was being kind, and her loyalty went up, but I just wanted her to recover faster so she could start working at dawn. As I drifted off, I was already thinking about how to find some dead adventurers in the forest to build my skeleton crew. Territory summary. Current resources: wood, 8, stone, 2, 1, iron, 0, gold, 0, silver, 3, copper, 5, food, 3, elemental crystals, 0, territory prosperity, 0, territory fame, 0, citizen summary, happiness -5%, fullness 80%, faith 0%, citizen request. Meopas wants a bed of his own. Development advice. You must increase your population soon, urgent. Development advice. You must strengthen your military power, urgent. When Pinokin opened his eyes, he saw the report from the territory core. Ugh, work right after waking up? Even an emperor doesn't have it this hard. He yawned, sitting up. Then he noticed Meopas was still sleeping on the bed. Didn't I tell you to get up and work once your energy was full? Learning to be lazy already? Pinokin scolded. Meopas woke up pitifully and pointed at the energy bar above his head. 80 out of 100, huh? Pinokin frowned and did some quick math. The wooden bed restored 20 points of energy per hour. After 8 hours of sleep, it should be full. Something didn't add up. Was the bed slacking off, or had the cat been sneaking around? Meowpas rolled around on the bed, waving her paws to show how badly Pinokin had slept last night, hugging her like a pillow, then like a blanket, then squeezing her between his legs while turning over. I'm really hungry. I actually hugged a cat in my sleep, Pinokin sighed, shaking his head. He opened the bag of berries Meowpas had gathered yesterday, planning to eat them for breakfast. The moment he opened it, his face darkened. Half of the berries were still green, some were even poisonous, and only a few were edible. Are you trying to poison me so you can take over my grass bed? He grumbled. Meowpas lowered her head, pawing the ground in shame. I'm a meat eater. How would I know how to tell berries apart? Pinokin sighed helplessly and began sorting the berries, explaining one by one. Green means unripe, red means ripe. Meow? Meowpas tilted her head in confusion. Are you seriously that clueless? You don't get it? Pinokin frowned, starting to suspect she was pretending. Meowpas pointed to her status panel. Intelligence, 2. Oh, great. Pinokin scratched his head and spoke slowly. Red berries, can eat. Green berries, can't eat. Meow? Meowpas still looked puzzled. To her, they all looked the same color. Pinokin suddenly realized that cats couldn't see colors well, so asking her to tell by color wasn't going to work. Okay, smell them. The ones that smell sweet are ripe and safe to eat. The ones with no smell aren't ripe. Don't eat them, or your stomach will hurt. These ones are poisonous. If you eat them, you'll get very sick. You can pick them, but keep them separate. To make sure she understood, Pinokin even acted out a silly face, pretending to faint dramatically. Meow Pass likes your funny expression. Loyalty 5. These berries with this shape and pattern are called snake berries. They're tasty, but be careful. There might be snakes nearby. Meow Pass mimed eating something spicy, as if to say snakes might taste good too. You are teaching Myopas some basic botany skills. Myopas has learned a new skill. Harvest berries. Myopas's affection 10 points go on. Don't think acting cute will get you out of work. Go pick some berries. Are there any of your friends in the forest? Bring them here too. My territory could use a bit more life. Pinokin followed the advice from the core. Meow? Myopas showed no resistance at all. Trickster cats were not social creatures, but they loved dragging others into mischief. It was just another kind of prank to them. Pinokin then began working on the leftover wood from yesterday, planning to build himself a house. He didn't know anything about predicting the weather, and if a heavy rain came one day, he'd be in trouble. Building a house was part of the wisdom skill branch under engineering. Since he hadn't invested any points there, the process was painfully slow. After hammering for half a day, he had only managed to finish one wall. Still, he couldn't bring himself to spend the 3 silver coins in his pocket to hire a craftsman from the nearby village. He preferred to take his time and do it himself. After a while, a trickster cat peeked out from the forest. It had just heard from another cat that a human farmer here had hidden silver coins in a tree hole. If it was quick, it could steal them. Warning, an intruder is stealing your property. Pinokin's eyes lit up. Oh, Myopas really did bring a friend over. He lifted the stone axe at his feet and threw it. This trickster cat wasn't as lucky as Myopas. The axe struck its ear and pinned it to a tree with a sharp cry. Pinokin walked over, tossed out a shackle, and named his second servant, One Ear. Trickster cat, name, One Ear, race, lesser monster, gender, male, level, LV.5, age, 5 years, attributes, strength 7, agility 15, intelligence 2, charm 2, fullness, 30/50ths, loyalty, 10 out of 100, personality, reckless, unruly, rebellious, free-spirited, talent, energetic, maximum stamina 30, stamina recovery speed 30%. Negative talent, destroyer. A mischievous nature makes this prankster cat often damage things in its territory. Negative talent, unstable emotions. Has a chance to break down mentally after working for too long. The destroyer talent seems to be common among all prankster cats. A breakdown? Even if you break down, you still have to work. Maybe you'll even produce double the results when you're upset. Pinokin pointed at the pile of grass nearby. Go that area. The prankster cat's sharp claws didn't even need a sickle to finish the weeding. With drooping ears, it slipped into the thick grass, beginning a gloomy life of endless labor, constantly producing extraction points. Meowpa acted like a loyal helper to a master, quickly persuading 4 prankster cats to join, using up all the control collars. The only pity was that his appraisal skill could only reveal AS talents after successfully binding them. That's how he ended up with a prankster cat of poor quality, a chubby one, 3 times larger than the others. He named it Meow Strong. Attributes, strength 9, agility 5, intelligence 2, charm 4, fullness, 10/200, loyalty, 50/100, personality, gluttonous, lazy, honest, negative talent, bottomless stomach, fullness limit x4, hunger speed 100%, negative talent, addicted to laziness, always thinking about resting, work efficiency -50% although its talents were poor. Pinokin was even more satisfied. The lazier you are, the more I'll make you work. That means more extraction points. He even planned to build a special water wheel cage for it. Once Meow Strong got inside, it would have to keep stepping on the wheel non-stop to water the fields, or it would tumble around inside like a ball of fur. But since he hadn't started farming yet, he decided to chop some trees first. Speaking of which, compared to the other prankster cat's 10 loyalty points, this one started with 50? Could it be that it thought it had found a long-term food source? What a joke. I've already given you all jobs. Don't expect me to feed you too. After Pinokin finished assigning tasks to the 4 mischievous cats, Miopas also returned from picking, holding a large leaf full of fresh berries. Pinokin checked them carefully, then crushed the berries with satisfaction and spread them on some dry black bread as jam, forcing himself to finish the simple meal. Sigh. After this meal, he would have to worry about food again. Planting was out of the question, and going to the nearest town would mean crossing mountains for half a day, and he had no money. Gathering, hunting, fishing. There seemed to be a small river in the distance, good for fishing. Pinokin collected some tough vines, and, following the blueprint given by the core, wove 2 fish traps. He also made a simple spear from a long tree branch, and set out with Miopas to fish. When the Lord left the territory, the other mischievous cats perked up their tails in excitement. It was time to slack off. But Pinokin turned back with a dark look and pointed at them. I'll calculate your work based on your strength level, how many trees you can chop, or how much grass you can pull in an hour. If even one log is missing, no dinner tonight. Exploitation point from 1 ear 1, exploitation point from meow 2 1, exploitation point from meow 3 1, exploitation point from meow strong 3 tsk, just 1 thread about no dinner, and strong gives 3 points. Impressive as always. Pinokin and Miopas reached the river about 2 kilometers from the territory. He softened the last bits of black bread with water, kneaded it into a dough ball, and placed it inside the woven fish traps before sinking them into the river. Then he walked to the shallow part and began teaching Miopas how to fish. See the fish? He asked. The man and the cat crouched in the grass, watching the fish glide through the shallows. Meow, yes. Miopas's pupils narrowed as his tail swayed excitedly. Cats loved fish, of course, but catching them on their own was another matter. Mischievous cats didn't have much patience for hunting. The fish we see are just reflections on the water's surface. The real fish are a bit lower, so when we throw the spear, we need to aim slightly downward, Pinokin explained. Then he suddenly leapt up and threw the spear. Clearly, both skill and luck were lacking. The spear only grazed the fish's belly, startling it so much that it leapt out of the water. From the grass, Miopas crouched, kicked off with both legs, jumped out, caught the fish in its mouth, and landed neatly on the opposite bank. Was that teamwork with the Lord, Meow? Miopas asked, wagging its tail while holding the fish. Pinokin looked a bit embarrassed. He wiped his nose, strung the fish together with vines, hung them on a tree, and prepared for the next catch. He even had Miopas dip its tail into the water and wiggle it as bait to lure the fish closer, then suddenly struck with the spear. You taught Miopas a new skill. Fishing, Miopas's loyalty 10 seriously? I raised you to earn points, not to make you more loyal, Pinokin muttered in frustration. By the end of the afternoon, they had a great haul. A whole branch was covered with heavy fish, the smallest one as long as an arm. When they checked the fish traps nearby, there were more than a dozen small fish inside. Such rich fishing grounds would make future anglers trade anything just to know the location. Of course, Pinokin didn't carry the fish himself. He left everything to Miopas. Though exhausted and barely able to stand straight, Miopas proudly carried the fish back to the territory, strutting like a triumphant soldier. Back home, the prankster cats were, as expected, lying around lazily. They even managed to mess up the only grass bed in the house. Pinokin was furious. No one eats until all the work is done. The 4 prankster cats drooped their heads and returned to their tasks, each contributing a bit of effort. Meanwhile, Miopas began cleaning the fish, removing the insides to make them easier to preserve. You taught Miopas a new skill. Fish cleaning. Pinokin gathered dry grass, twigs, and cypress branches to build a campfire. He planned to make grilled fish for dinner and smoked fish for storage. Miopas worked hard, its sharp claws swiftly slicing open the fish and cleaning them out. The leftover fish parts weren't wasted either. They were all given to Big Meow to handle. That one had the bottomless stomach trait. He only worked well after eating his fill. While eating the discarded scraps, Meow Dazhuang's happiness rose, and his loyalty increased by 5 points. Just as he was about to lie down contentedly to rest, Pinokin's order came again. The master's food isn't free. Today, Meow Dazhuang's workload increases by 20%. Received 1 point of exploitation from Miao Dezhuang. Soon, a campfire was lit. Pinokin skewered the fish and placed them around the fire to roast. Miao Pa squatted nearby, eyes full of anticipation, tail wagging eagerly, almost drooling. After all, he had worked hard all day. When the fish were finally done, Pinokin tossed 2 small palm-sized fish to Miao Pa, while he himself began eating a large, juicy one. Meow? Miao Pa's eyes filled with tears. He gestured with his paws, showing how much he had worked for such a small reward. The more you compare, the narrower your heart becomes. The more you give, the greater your spirit grows, Pinokin lectured. Don't be upset about your 2 small fish. There are cats out there who don't even get one. You should be grateful, Miao Pa. Received 2 points of exploitation from Miao Pa. Obtained. Roasted fish ×3, shelf life. 48H. Smoked fish ×8, dried, shelf life. 30D. Afraid that the prankster cats might steal the smoked fish, Pinokin built a wooden box to hide them. He took out a small piece and handed it to One Ear, the strongest cat. From now on, these fish are yours to guard. Don't let any mischievous cat steal them. One Ear's loyalty 5. He successfully divided the 5 prankster cats. It's getting late. 2 more hours of work, then it's time to sleep. You cats ruined my grass bed. Come here and be my mattress. Good. Today I gained 23 exploitation points. Core. Let's do 2 draws before bed. Despicable meditation technique. Grade C. A modified apprentice-level meditation method that improves efficiency. During meditation, it absorbs a small amount of energy from nearby living beings to speed up the user's mana recovery. Effect 1. Restores 5 times intelligence, mana per hour. For every 5 living beings within a 10-meter range, recovery increases by 1 point. Effect 2. When mana is full, every 5 hours of meditation increases the maximum mana by 2 points. Effect 3. If the mana slot is not yet unlocked, it will be opened. Requirement: Wisdom 5. A perfect meditation technique for Pinokin, worthy of its name. It allows him to unlock his mana slot and use the Skeleton Awakening spell. The other blueprint is for a production tool. Item Blueprint: Laborer's Plow Description. A heavy tool for cultivating wasteland. Extremely heavy, but very efficient. Stamina cost 50%, work efficiency 50%. Use: Cultivating Wasteland. Requirement: Strength 10. Materials: Wood ×5, Iron ×2, ×2, Basic Workbench ×1. It can't be made yet. Miao Dezhuang. This job will be yours in the future. Exploitation point from Miao Dezhuang 1. Sitting on the cat bed, he began to meditate and unlocked his mana slot. Territory summary: Current resources: Wood ×20, Stone ×10, ×10, Iron ×0, 0 gold, 3 silver, 5 copper, Food ×18, Elemental crystals ×0. Population summary: Happiness -15%, Fullness 40%, Faith 0%. Citizen requests: Miao Pa wants a bed. Miao Dezhuang wants food. One Ear doesn't want to work. Development suggestions: You must strengthen your territory's military power, urgent. You already have enough citizens. As a ruler, begin your expansion. Expansion? Really? With just my 5 cats? Pinokin immediately rejected the idea. Still, it was time to move forward. He couldn't just keep chopping trees with a stone axe forever. Progress would take ages that way. Now that he had unlocked his mana slot, it was time to gather some skeleton helpers. He didn't want to cause trouble in the nearby town and risk being hunted by priests, so he decided to head into the forest to look for the remains of adventurers. Maybe he could find some of their belongings too. Before leaving, he took Miao Pa with him, assigned the remaining mischievous cats their daily tasks, and promised them dried fish as a reward once they finished their work. After being pushed too hard, people's spirits become numb. Only when they see a little hope and then lose it again does the true pressure point appear. The clearly excessive workload filled the territory with tired complaints, earning 4 pressure points. Then, Pinokin took a wooden stick as a weapon and, together with Miaopa, entered the hidden forest in search of adventure. Miaopa was very happy to go with the Lord, hopping ahead to lead the way. Her affection increased by 5 points. She truly had a natural tendency to stay close the more she was pushed. It was also Pinokin's first time going deep into the forest. He had heard it was full of danger, but didn't know where the real threats were. Soon, Meowpaw led him to a skeleton. It was clearly very old. The scattered bones were covered with moss, and the clothes had rotted away, leaving only a few scraps of linen. Pinokin tried to cast Awaken Skeleton. He raised his hands, letting magic flow between them. A dark purple magic circle appeared, sending streams of energy that wrapped around the skeleton and sank into its bones. He had to admit, the skill book from the core was amazing. It worked directly in his mind, saving him from the long, boring study that normal mages had to go through. Otherwise, just learning the complex symbols of that necromancy circle would have taken him 3 months. The scattered bones floated up and formed an incomplete skeleton, missing 1 leg and 1 arm, probably taken by some wild animal. Incomplete skeleton, grade F, poor. An ancient skeleton, a lost soul with no home. It has no spirit and may fall apart at any time. It holds no real value. Pinokin didn't feel disappointed. At least he had experienced what it felt like to cast magic. It was truly fascinating. After the skeleton stood up, Meowpaw found a pigskin wallet on the ground. Inside were 1 silver and 15 copper coins, a pleasant surprise. Dig a hole and bury yourself, Pinokin ordered, taking the money. The soulless skeleton couldn't provide any more value anyway. The broken skeleton obeyed, quietly digging a hole. When it was done, it lay down inside and rested there. The man and the cat continued forward. Meowpaw, who had wandered through the hidden forest for many years, knew the place well and soon found another skeleton. It was small, still wearing a red outfit that hadn't completely decayed. Beside it lay a bamboo basket, and bright mushrooms had grown all over its body. Pinokin frowned a little. Could such a small figure really do any work? Still curious about using magic, he decided to try awakening this little skeleton. Mushroom gathering girl, race, undead skeleton, rank, D, description, a young girl who entered the forest to gather mushrooms and help her family. Sadly, she was bitten by a poisonous snake and never saw her mother again. If you can help her return home, her spirit will surely thank you for your kindness. Attributes: Strength 1, Agility 1, Intelligence 3, Charm 5, Soul Energy, 30/50ths. Undead creatures do not have stamina or energy. Their actions consume soul energy, which can slowly recover when they rest in burial grounds or be recharged by a necromancer's magic. Skill: Basic gathering, mushrooms. Talent: Innocent appeal. Who could refuse a request from such a pitiful little girl? The mushroom girl uses her talent. Innocent appeal. Kind sir, could you please take me home? My mother is still waiting for me. Judging. Mushroom girl. Base charm 5, persuasion 2/5 from innocent appeal. Pinokin. Masters will 100. Judgment failed. Little one. I'm still young. Please don't call me kind sir, Pinokin said with a small smile to the girl whose skull was decorated with lovely mushrooms. Then, kind brother? She tried again. Pinokin's smile faded, and he said sternly, call me kind master. Lazy bones. I spent a lot of effort bringing you back. Now go gather mushrooms. If you don't fill that basket today, I'll take you apart and feed you to the dogs. Wah. Oppression points 1 from Mushroom Girl. A good result. He had gained a new helper for gathering supplies, and even earned an extra oppression point. While Mushroom Girl was left alone here to gather mushrooms, Pinocchio continued searching with Meowpaw at the forest edge, not venturing deep inside. The next skeleton was clearly a herbalist. Its backpack still had some rotten herbs, and it held a sickle and a small. This time, Pinocchio misjudged. Because the herbalist was half hidden by thick grass, he didn't notice that the skeleton's lower half was already gone. Damaged herbalist skeleton, race, undead skeleton, a poor herbalist who died from injuries, killed by wild animals. Skill, gathering, herbal medicine. Status, missing lower limbs, paralyzed, wasted. A legless herbalist is useless, Pinocchio muttered, swinging his staff to send it back to. Otherwise, keeping it would cost him 2 magic points every day. The recently resurrected herbalist skeleton collapsed silently again. But there was an unexpected surprise. A gray glowing orb fell out of the skeleton's eye socket. Gray soul magic orb. Oh, it can explode stuff too. Pinocchio suddenly remembered that the master's skill, Force Plunder, can cause soul orbs to drop when killing enemies. He activated his detection spell. Mysterious Soul Orb contains a piece of memory or knowledge. It might be a memory or some knowledge, but it cannot be specifically identified. Well, guessing is enough. Dogs don't bark pearls. Most likely, this soul orb contains the herbalist's gathering knowledge. It probably isn't a romantic scene between lovers, right? Should I feed it to Meow Pass? Meow Pass was so scared it bristled. She already had to gather berries, catch fish, sell her kind, and sometimes chop trees, clear weeds, and mine stones. Now she might have to gather herbs too? Meow Pass's squeeze point 1 TCH, useless. Just scaring her made her gain a point? I'd do the same if I could. With limited stamina and many skills, I can't do everything. Using the soul link with Mushroom Girl, he called her over and stuffed the orb into her eye. Mushroom Girl devoured the gray soul orb. Mushroom Girl gained a new skill. Harvest, herbs. The places where mushrooms and herbs grow often overlap, so she can gather both at once. What a clever plan. The kind old master. So, can I pick half as many mushrooms? The Mushroom Girl timidly used her special talent. Pitiful look. As the saying goes, the capable do more work. This basket is for mushrooms, and I will return your kindness by waking you up. The backpack is for herbs, and I will teach you new knowledge in return. Pinocchio mercilessly doubled Mushroom Girl's workload. Mushroom Girl's pressure point 2. The small, fragile skeleton of Mushroom Girl could only carry a large herbal basket. Feeling wronged, she turned around sadly to continue her gathering work. Come back. Pinocchio crossed his arms. Mushroom Girl thought Pinocchio had changed his mind and happily looked back. Be polite. Say thank you, Lord Pinocchio, for your kindness. Mushroom Girl bowed deeply, almost crying. You're pushing me too hard, and still want me to say thank you. Are you even human? Meow Pass watched, clutching his belly and laughing so hard, he almost fell over. Stop laughing. You still have half your energy left today. Go pick some fruit to burn it off, then come back and sleep. No bed for you if you're not tired. Pinocchio rolled his eyes. Meow Pass let out a sad meow, fell onto his back, and fainted. Meow Pass's pressure point 1 next. They found a few pitiful skeletons of woodcutters at the forest edge. These were villagers who came to cut wood in the forest and were attacked by monsters, dying tragically here. They all had the chop skill. Why go so far to cut trees? Can't they just cut wood near the village? Oh my, those are Lord Richard's trees. Even touching a branch could mean a fine. Even more extreme, they had to risk going into the dense woods to cut apple trees, because the lords liked the aroma of roasted apples. Pinocchio woke up all 3 woodcutters. They even carried iron axes, so no extra tools were needed. Their skeletons had lower strength, so their chopping efficiency wasn't high, but they didn't need to eat. Only recharge some magic each day to keep going. Yes, today was a fruitful day. It was getting late, so they headed back to the territory to see what those lazy cats were up to. They meditated to restore their magic power, planning to explore the dense forest again tomorrow. Back at the territory, although the 4 mischievous cats were still slacking off and hadn't chopped much wood, at least they hadn't stolen the smoked fish from the box. A little cat eagerly watched Pinocchio, holding Meow Dazhuang's ears, dancing and gesturing to show how hard it was to stop Meow Dazhuang from stealing smoked fish. All right, for your effort, I'll give you a smoked fish, plus today's salary. A total of 2 small fish. Pinocchio generously paid the cats today. Just hitting with a stick without giving treats isn't motivating. The workers lose enthusiasm. But the small smoked fish is just enough for a quick snack, filling their stomachs a bit, enough for them to go into the forest and hunt on their own. After working without a meal, they have to find food themselves. The 4 mischievous cats once again earned 4 more points of pressure. And once they are full and back, I can use their energy for meditation. Before that, let's build a little roof for the hut. Pinocchio started tapping and hammering on the house. Without engineering skills, building things is slow, so I can only take a few hits each day. By the way, today I earned 17 pressure points again. Adding the 3 points left from yesterday, it's just enough for 2 more tries. Thank you for your patronage. Luck ran out. The first try was empty. Design: thorned prison cage, grade D, used to punish lazy workers. Covered with sharp thorns, it causes extreme pain when someone is put inside. Materials: wood 4, thorns 2. Wow. Once this is set up and hung on a street lamp, just the sight of it can scare the labor cats and make them earn more pressure points. Alright, all the cats are back. Time to make their beds and sleep. Mushroom Girl is back too. Did she finish picking mushrooms? Mushroom Girl sadly hugged herself. Kind Mr. Pinocchio. The forest at night is so scary. I'm afraid of ghosts. Can I go back to the territory to sleep? You yourself are a ghost. Territory summary. Current resources. Wood 30, stone 20, tin, iron 0, gold 5, silver 18, copper, food 32, element crystals 0. Territory prosperity. 1. Territory reputation. 1. Settler summary. Happiness minus 25%, fullness 40%, faith 0%, settler needs. Meow Pass wants a bed, Big Meow wants to eat. Mushroom Girl wants to go home. Territory development advice. You must strengthen your territory's military, urgent. Territory development advice. You already have enough settlers. As a owner, start your plunder. Meow? Meow Pass looked at Pinocchio, who was squatting on the ground early in the morning, tapping and weaving a wooden cage, with a puzzled expression. Come in and try it, Pinocchio said, inviting Meow Pass to test the size. Meow? Is this the bed the Lord specially made for me? Meow Pass's eyes lit up, and she jumped into the cage. Meow Pass spun around twice. The size was just right. Feline creatures prefer this kind of tight, cozy living space. Meow Pass's favorability towards you 5, huh? Is this creature A? Pinocchio rolled his eyes at Meow Pass, then ordered the skeleton carpenters to cut some thorny branches. Thorny branches, Meow? Meow Pass hurried out to grab a bundle of dry grass, looking very confused. Pinocchio showed her a design drawing of a spiked cage. This is used to punish cats who don't work hard or cause trouble in the territory. Anyone lazy gets to hang inside. Meow? The 5 cats bristled. From the cats, pressure point 5. Yesterday's exploration at the forest edge yielded good results. They found fur-gatherers. Today, Pinocchio plans to go a bit deeper, since most of the people on the outskirts are civilians gathering firewood, and the bodies of adventurers are usually found further inside. He still has Meow Pass with him. The other cats no longer need to gather firewood. They are all cutting grass to clear space around the territory, making it easier to build structures later. One person and one cat continue along the path they took yesterday. After about an hour, they were surprised to find a small trail in the forest. The branches on both sides are clearly cut by humans, and the dense weeds on the ground have been flattened by some hoofed footprints, spreading deep into the forest. Is this the shape of horseshoes? Humans? Pinocchio finds it strange. Why would human-horse teams go into the jungle? But only humans would put horseshoes on their horses. Who else? However, these footprints are very clear. They seem to carry something heavy. It's probably not heavy cavalry, maybe pack horses from a caravan. A caravan going deep into the forest? Who are they trading with? Complete trail analysis. Gain 5 exploration skill experience. You teach Meow Pass the skill. Investigation. Progress 5%. The footprints are from a caravan, and judging by their clarity, it doesn't seem to be recent. Pinocchio immediately decides to follow this trail. Meow Pass naturally leads the way, clearing all dangers. After about 2 hours of wandering in the jungle, Meow Pass returns to report, gesturing excitedly to show there's something ahead, but no danger. Pinocchio walks over and sees, wow, a battle scene. On a narrow path, there are signs of a fierce fight. The surrounding tree trunks are also covered with 2 types of arrows. One is a finely crafted iron feather arrow, clearly from humans. The other is a rough wooden arrow, basically a sharpened stick, but with green poison on the tip. With this evidence, plus the small footprints like those of a baby on the ground, it's safe to say the troublemakers are goblins from the jungle. So who won this ambush? The goods scattered everywhere. A dark red, paste-like substance emits a faint fragrance. Pinocchio reaches out and tastes a bit. It turns out to be precious spices and seasonings from the human world, some dyes and pigments, and broken glass, all scattered on the ground like trash. It's obvious that the goblins won. They don't understand how to identify valuable items. They only pick weapons, clothes, and edible things to bring back to their nests. Complete battlefield trail analysis. Gain 10 exploration skill experience. You teach Meow Pass the skill. Investigation. Progress 15%. Greenskin cat. Dangerous cat. Meow Pass frantically waves its paws, showing that these savage creatures are very dangerous. Even if they are mischievous cats, they might skin and eat you. So that's why I need your cat team to go out. Call over one of the goblins. The master is about to make a big fortune. Pinocchio isn't willing to let go of this goblin that just raided the merchant caravan. Meow. Meowpass flicked his tail and went back to the territory to call for help. I can't communicate with them over such a long distance, so I have to trouble Meowpass to make a trip. Once Meowpass leaves, I don't want to waste any time. I stay behind to collect the arrows and see if I can make another bow to arm myself. After all, as a gentle and refined poet, I can't just rush to the front like a reckless soldier swinging a big stick, even if I'm not strategizing behind the scenes. Obtain crow feather arrow, normal, 1. Obtain crow feather arrow, normal, 1. Obtain crow feather arrow, normal, 1. I even hesitate to pick up the spice powder on the ground. These are high-quality goods sold by weight. If the clueless goblins try a taste and don't like it, they might just smash it on the ground. I pack it in cloth and dry it in the territory so I can sell it again later. Goo? A confused sound comes from behind. Goo to you. Help me pack up these spices, I snap, thinking Meowpass and the others have arrived, and I turn around to slap. Oh no, the feeling is wrong. No fur. Swallow my saliva and look back. A dirty green head, pointed ears, a crooked grin showing uneven teeth, scratching his head where I hit him, gradually reveals a fierce expression. Goblin Hunter Captain, Bryn, level 8, HP 250/250, attack 15 to 25, armor 10, skills, savage strike. Goblin jump slash. Although he's less than 1.2 meters tall, his fierce aura rivals that of a wild beast. The 3 shriveled human heads hanging from his waist show his impressive achievements. Oh, great Goblin Lord, look at your sharp, white teeth and strong muscles. You must be no worse than me, a poor little scholar. If you're willing to let me go, I will definitely promote you as the invincible Goblin King. Pinocchio used a skill. Beg for mercy LV.10 skill in progress. Pinocchio, basic language 10 charisma 1. Different races cannot fully use charisma. Goblin Captain, anger 10 hunger 10 failure in the check. Hunger? Why do you feel hungry for me? I can't believe it. Pinocchio gradually becomes frightened, reaching out instinctively to his back, where his axe is. However, as everyone knows, goblins are a race that acts in groups. How could one be out alone? There are at least 3 goblins standing on the branches nearby, and more hidden in the grass are unclear. In any case, whether resisting or fleeing, the outcome is the same. Want to eat something fresher? Tie me up and take me back. Let me marinate myself a bit to ensure the flavor is pure. Pinocchio picks up the spices he just collected and sprinkles some under his armpits. Small goblin jump slash. The goblin captain raises his wooden club and jumps up to deliver a jumping slash to Pinocchio's head. You receive 25 points of dizziness damage and are knocked out. Thus, Pinocchio, like a roasted pig, was strung up by a group of goblins with wooden sticks and carried back to their camp. After a long time, Meowpaws and the cat team arrive at the scene, but find no one. Meow Dezhuang. The Lord must have gone to eat. Meow. 1 ear. We can take a break now. Meow. Meow 2 and Meow 3. Freedom. Meow. Meowpaws paces around on the ground, finally finding a cloth torn from Pinocchio's clothes on a branch. His tiny mind starts to work. This must be a hint left by the Lord. Meow. Meowpaws is attempting to use the search skill. In progress. Trace. 5 Meowpaws. Wisdom 2 trace recognition 2 check failed. Confidently, Meowpaws crosses his arms. The Lord must be hinting that we should go back and tear his clothes apart. Meow. Meow. Meowpaws is so clever. The cats agree. Help me. With a very loud and painful scream, Pinocchio fully woke up and quickly sat up to look around. He was trapped inside a cage made of bones and vines, and there were many similar cages around. Most of them were empty, only a few held people. The scream just now came from a human being dragged away by 2 strong goblins. Unluckily, the human was still holding onto Pinocchio's cage door with both hands, his 10 fingers almost bulging with muscle, refusing to be pulled away. Don't eat me. Don't eat me. I'm not tasty. Eat this tender, soft-skinned one. He's delicious. To with you. Pinocchio kicked his fingers hard, breaking them, and the human finally let go. He left 10 scratches on the ground as he crawled away, shouting, "Ah, you'll get your just desserts." Then, 2 goblins lifted the human and threw him into a large muddy pot, which was over a roaring fire, boiling fiercely. At first, the human in the boiling water struggled and screamed, making all the prisoners feel cold and scared. As 2 goblins with spears stabbed into the boiling water, blood turned the water red. The goblins around, excited and waiting for food, cheered and danced. Are they really going to eat people? Pinocchio's eyes nearly popped out. From rumors he heard from different places, not all goblins have a habit of eating humans. Then why are they capturing people? Could it be they like your kind? Pinocchio's voice trembled. Poor me. This is my first time out trading, and I've already run into this. Next to him, a young man in a bone cage was crying and wiping tears. So it's people like you who go into secret forests to do business. Pinocchio looked back at the young man, who was wearing a dirty shirt and looked like a rich kid. He suddenly became angry. If I wasn't trying to get a bargain from you, I wouldn't have been caught. I just wanted to find a new trade route. I heard there are elves in the forest. I thought I could trade with them. I never expected to meet a green-eared elf, the young man sobbed. People like you, who try to take shortcuts, end up dead. You really should think about why others don't want to do business, Pinocchio said, giving him a thumbs up. Lord Jack, look. These monsters are going to eat Dessa. A human in a cage nearby shouted in fear. Turning around, he saw the spear-wielding goblins jumping and rushing to rescue people, making him feel sick. Dessa, you died so tragically. Your spirit must protect me so I can return safely. I will take good care of your wife and children when I go back, the young merchant Jack cried sadly. Okay. Among the goblins, it was clear that status mattered. Food was delivered to a very large goblin. The big goblin half closed his eyes and swallowed. Elite Goblin Chieftain, Strong Swallow, level 15, attack power 80 to 100, armor 30, a powerful evolved goblin with ogre bloodline. Its appetite and strength are both astonishing. Its insatiable hunger allows it to eat people without even chewing. Phew. So this goblin has ogre blood. I thought the big one was the Goblin King. Pinocchio sighed in relief. Goblins with ogre blood and goblin kings are very different. One size is supported by its bloodline, while the other relies on real strength. How can a small goblin breed with a giant ogre? They are like a puppy eager to find a mate. Regardless of whether it's female, same species, or even a plant or a chimney, they can become attracted. Their strange genetic abilities allow them to reproduce with any female creature to produce offspring. Legend says that the pointed ears of goblins come from elven bloodline. Of course, this is just a rumor. It's okay to talk about it privately, but don't mention it in front of elves, or they might make you regret it. So don't doubt how strange any goblin subspecies can be. If they're brave enough, even dragon-blooded goblins might appear. What's the difference? Aren't they all just going to eat us? The merchant Jack said sadly, wiping his tears. The difference is huge. Goblins are a race that admires strength. They like to follow powerful leaders and form tribes. A hero can attract 1,000 goblins, and a king's followers might be over 10,000. If he's just an elite, it probably means this tribe has only about 100 people. Pinokin looked very confident. Are you a biology expert? Jack looked at Pinokin with some hesitation. Oh, I am just a bard. But I often read street novels, like an unusual story called Goblins and the Elf Princess. I interpret it for my audience, and I make good money from it, Pinokin said with a gentleman's smile, completely calm. He believed the cat team would come soon. With his guidance, they would easily rescue him. Oh, respected poet, why are you so confident? Do you have a way to escape this place? Jack became excited, almost pressing his face against the bones. Of course. It won't be long before my servants come. So, my friend in business, do you want to buy your way out? Pinokin grinned mischievously. Yes, please. If you save me, I will give you 100 gold coins. No, 200 gold coins as a reward. Jack shook the cage in excitement. Hey, aren't you being a bit stingy? I see the badge on your clothes. It's from the Wealthy Fields Merchant Guild, the richest on the continent. Is your life only worth 200 gold coins? Pinokin said with a sudden displeasure. Oh, come on. Respected poet, you guessed right. I am from the Wealthy Fields Merchant Guild, but I am just a new apprentice merchant, still taking the test to become an independent trader. Each apprentice only gets 10,000 gold coins to start. After a year, they decide if you can lead a caravan based on how much you earn. I already invested all my money in this caravan. I can't spare more. If you're willing to write an IOU, I promise to pay you 10 times back once I succeed, Jack begged desperately. Come on, a trader daring to do business in the forest? You think you can turn things around? Just pay up. Pinokin still seemed to be thinking about gold coins. Jack sighed with pain, his face showing regret. If only he had spent the 200 gold coins to hire a guard, maybe this disaster could have been avoided. Feeling upset, he reached into his pants and finally pulled out a bag of gold coins. Reluctantly, he handed it to Pinocchio but couldn't bring himself to let go. Wow, you're brave and quick, Pinocchio said as he grabbed the bag, trying to take it away. Hee. With all this chaos. Just for safety, Jack chuckled nervously, holding the gold tightly. You'll save me, right? Of course. I will. Pinocchio snatched the bag and pressed it close to his face, feeling the warmth of the coins. When do you think the plan will start? That goblin ogre is already preparing to eat his 4th meal today, Jack shivered. 4th meal? How many does it eat in a day? Pinocchio asked in surprise. 16 meals, huh? Sure enough, 2 strong goblin guards approached the cage, ready to cook their next meal. Oh no! Jack quickly grabbed a handful of smelly dirt from the ground and smeared it on his face. Pinocchio also took some fragrant mud from his pocket and applied it to his face, knowing goblins probably disliked the smell. They looked at each other. The friends who had just been planning how to escape now became rivals for survival. The 2 goblin warriors mumbled in an unfamiliar language, choosing their next meal from the cage. Chief eats meat. We drink soup. Not full. Cook more. Add more ingredients. Another guard from the group huddled back, pretending to be dead. Pinocchio mustered his courage, waved away the strong incense smell, and approached. The goblin sniffed him and showed a disgusted expression, then looked at the next target, Jack. Oh no, don't look at what Jack is doing. He was even digging in the dirt for his own waste to eat, exaggeratedly, making the goblins want to. They hurriedly grabbed the other humans and dragged away the last one. Leader Jack, help! I don't want to be eaten. The unlucky one clung tightly to Jack's cage, refusing to let go. Jack almost copied Pinocchio's moves, kicking the unlucky person's fingers until they broke, then let him go. I swear I won't let you go, even if I become a ghost. The 2 who escaped looked at the poor soul being thrown into the pot, stabbing wildly as a group of goblins cheered and danced. It's over, it's over. Next, it'll be us. Pinoc wanted to wait until night to act, but he didn't expect the goblin ogre to be such a big eater. Where are your servants? When will they arrive? Jack grabbed the bars, tears streaming down his face again. Maybe it's too late. I can't rely on those 5 lazy cats anymore, Pinoc muttered. What? I gave you all my money. You say it's too late? Jack screamed in despair. Don't worry, I can't count on them. I'll find a way myself. Pinoc carefully observed the surroundings, thinking of a plan. Roughly made bone prison, armor class, 5 not very strong. It can be cut through. But what if I escape? There are so many goblin guards outside. Can I run away through the jungle? Goblin guards, level 5, the lowest ranked goblin, who can only watch the stew boil and drool, even unable to drink bathwater soup. Even at level 5, it seems hard for someone at level 1 to defeat them quickly. A level 10 bard. They probably won't listen to me, right? Pile of bones, a heap of leftover bones. Maybe I can revive some skeleton warriors by summoning skeletons? And then, skeleton warriors can't beat goblins either. Anxious. How about it? Do you have a plan yet? Jack anxiously urged, afraid he might be the next to be cooked. Pinoc turned to look at Jack and said seriously, I have a clever idea, but I need your cooperation. What? Cooperation? Jack was very anxious. Later, you'll be eaten. Get lost. You big liar. Give back the money. Even if I die, I want to lie in the same pot with my gold coins, Jack shouted in anger. I'm not lying to you. I swear on my gold coins that my magic can protect you from boiling water. No matter how they cook you, you won't be torn apart, and it will buy enough time for help to arrive, said Pinocchio confidently and calmly. Magic? Jack paused, surprised. Yes, I am just a bard, but also a great wizard. Pinocchio proudly raised his eyebrows. Then what are you waiting for? Cast a spell to kill them. If I could easily kill them, I wouldn't be caught now. So, what do you plan to do? Later, I will cast a spell on you. To make sure you don't get burned, then you go into the pot and delay them. My servant will come soon afterward. Wow, your magic is so strong. Why don't you go in and get cooked yourself? Jack shouted. I can't just cast spells like that, Pinocchio said, face calm and steady. Seeing the people in the pot being cooked and swallowed by the goblin, Jack reluctantly agreed. Then, your magic better be strong enough. Don't worry, all of it is yours. I won't hold anything back, Pinocchio confidently promised, patting his chest. You're such a good person. Jack tearfully held Pinocchio's hand. Let go. Don't start anything here. I'm about to cast a spell. Pinocchio raised both hands, forming a dark purple magic circle. A chilling magical energy flowed from the circle into Jack's body. Oh, it's really magic. Why does this feel so strange? Cold air is seeping into my bones. Are you sure this magic is to protect me? Jack shivered fiercely. Pinocchio poured all 100 points of his magic power into Jack, making his face turn purple from the cold. For living beings, contact with undead magic isn't comfortable and can be dangerous over time, but Jack didn't seem to care about his lifespan. Of course you're feeling cold now. How will you resist the boiling water later? Pinocchio rubbed his hands, quickly meditating to restore his magic. Thanks for that. What's this spell called? Jack rubbed his arms, feeling grateful. Not afraid of boiling water. Such a strange name. While speaking, the goblin chief kept repeating the name, still licking his lips with satisfaction, signaling for the next pot to start. The goblin guards came to grab someone again. Pinocchio quickly dabbed some strong-smelling spices on his face, channeling all his magic into Jack, hoping he wouldn't be chosen himself. Jack trembled and curled up inside the cage, but he was still picked out by the goblins and dragged away. It's okay. It's okay. I have magic protection. I'm not afraid of boiling water. Until he was thrown into the pot, Jack kept muttering this. As the boiling water touched his skin, he let out a loud, pig-like scream that shook the sky. You lied to me. I will never forgive you when I die. So hot. So hot. Pinocchio clasped his hands together and silently prayed. Umitba. Good indeed. It will stop burning soon. The goblins around the pot stabbed wildly with their spears, silencing Jack as he thrashed inside. After about 10 minutes, under the goblin chief's impatient pounding on his belly, the little goblins skewered Jack's body and brought it out, placing it near the chief's mouth, ignoring Jack's limbs twitching now and then. The ogre goblin still looked hungry, with a big mouth. He grabbed Jack's head and shoved it into his mouth, chewing without even biting. He enjoyed the feeling of such a large object sliding down his throat. This felt like eating and kept him from feeling hungry. Very good. Wake up, my skeleton warrior. I gave you all my magic. Hold on for me. Pinocchio silently prayed with his hands clasped. Suddenly, Skeleton Jack opened his eyes wide. He wanted to curse loudly but was shocked by the terrifying scene around him. His former companions were stacked beneath him, and the guards he had cursed just moments ago had rotten, bloated faces pressed against his own. My handsome face. How could I become a ghost? Ghosts? What's wrong with a skeleton? That's called bone beauty. Hurry up and act, or stomach acid will digest you. Look around for any weapons you can use. Pinocchio called forth his undead. Though he didn't have absolute loyalty commands, he could communicate with them through their souls over short distances. When I get out, I will jam my thigh bone into your... Jack was almost breaking down as he groped through the bubbling, acidic soup. He pulled out a hidden steel dagger from his leather boot. This was a dwarf-made weapon given by his mother for protection. Unfortunately, it hadn't been useful against the powerful goblin tribe yet. He stabbed it hard into the goblin chieftain's stomach wall. Suddenly, a spasm caused the entire stomach wall to churn violently. The goblin chieftain clutched his stomach, grimacing in pain. To be fair, Jack's steel dagger was very sharp. It immediately cut a small opening in the fragile stomach wall. Climb out quickly. It's going to. Pinocchio, excited, lay on the bone cage, directing Skeleton Jack in the fight. You make it sound easy. Skeleton Jack clenched his teeth, trying to make the cut bigger, then pushed his head into the wound. The goblin chieftain indeed vomited wildly in the next second, clutching his throat. Disgusting stuff poured out, splashing all over the nearby goblins. All the goblins looked at their leader in surprise, confused about what was happening. Skeleton Jack's half-body was stuck outside the stomach wall. He finally avoided the impact and swung his dagger with all his might to cause more damage. This time, the goblin chieftain went completely crazy from pain. He rolled on the ground, tears and snot streaming down his face, repeatedly hitting his stomach, but he couldn't stop the source of the injury inside. The goblin warriors watching the scene were crushed into meat by the giant-like body of the goblin chieftain. In pain, tears and snot running down his face, the goblin chieftain ran to grab his remaining goblins, stuffing them into his mouth and swallowing them whole. His simple idea was, if there's something inside my stomach cutting my intestines, I'll eat my subordinates and let you all go into my stomach to kill it. But his tiny brain didn't realize that any creature in an oxygenless stomach would instantly be poisoned and knocked out by corrosive toxic gases. Except for spirits. Suddenly, the goblin chieftain, grabbing his goblin followers, was so frightened that the ordinary goblins screamed and ran away. The entire camp was almost emptied in an instant. Goblins are creatures that are brave and noisy when they feel strong, rushing forward. But once things go wrong, they scatter in all directions. True damage -20, true damage -26. The head of the man-eating goblin chieftain kept flashing with pale damage numbers. The pain was so bad that he couldn't stand it. He ran to the campfire, picked up a pot of boiling water, and poured it into his stomach. Even with his eyes red from the burn, he wanted to burn the pests inside his belly to death. Unfortunately, the skeleton was not afraid of boiling water. It didn't burn Jack to death, but instead caused a critical hit of -100 damage on his head. With a kick, Jack died. An invisible light appeared from the corpse and entered Pinocchio's body. You assisted in killing the level 15 man-eating goblin chieftain. You gained 150 strategy experience, 150 assist experience, 0 combat experience, 0% brutal bonus. You leveled up. Level 1, Level 3. The experience from the goblin chieftain directly boosted Pinocchio 2 levels. After a long time, Skeleton Jack struggled to cut open the goblin chieftain's belly with a dagger, opening his arms like a believer, embracing freedom. I'm Jack. I'm back again. Name: Pinocchio. Level: Master LV.3, Bard LV.10. Attributes: Strength 5/6 from Master Talent, Constitution 5/4 from Master Talent, Wisdom 5, Agility 5, Charisma 5/10 from Bard. Free attribute points 10. Level up. Main profession: finally leveled up. Pinocchio was so excited he almost cried. Compared to the single attribute secondary profession of Bard, the bonuses from Master are many. Each level up grants not only 3 free points of strength and endurance, but also 5 free attribute points. Strength affects: physical attack power, work speed, body weight capacity. Constitution effects: health/stamina maximum, bone strength, muscle strength, skin defense. Wisdom affects: energy/magic points maximum, spell power, engineering construction, learning comprehension. Agility affects: weapon handling dexterity, running and dodging speed, finger agility, crafting skills. Charisma affects: commanding troops, persuasion, attracting talent, the chance of citizens defecting. Generally, the profession of a owner should involve some strength and stamina, but so far, all the skills I've gained are mage-related. As a lord, charisma is also important to increase influence. Pinokin thought for a moment and decided to add 5 points to intelligence, since building projects need to be done personally. He also added 5 points to charisma, while strength and stamina were not improved. Now his attributes are strength 11, stamina 9, agility 5, intelligence 10, charisma 20. While Pinokin was trying to dismantle the bone cage, a badly injured Jack, with torn flesh, was walking over, holding his dagger, wiping non-existent tears, and swaying. Liar. Return my youthful looks. Stop. Calm down. Listen to my analysis. First, I won't turn you into a skeleton soldier. Neither of us can survive that. At least now you still have hands, feet, and can speak. Otherwise, you'd be just a pile of bones. Second, if you betray me, and your soul power runs out, and you can't find a necromancer to extend your life, you will lose your motivation and truly die. Listen to me. I have a territory. Join me. and we can make a lot of money together. Pinokin attempts to persuade Skeleton Jack LV.5, rolling for success. Pinokin, basic persuasion 5, charisma 20, Skeleton Jack, wisdom 15, success. So, we're partners, not master and servant, right? Skeleton Jack's eyes flickered. Of course. We're brothers who escaped from the same cage. It's a partnership. I'll keep track of every penny like a real brother, and I won't cheat you out of a copper. Come on, brother. You just leveled up, right? Let's add your strength and some weight capacity. Otherwise, we can't carry all the loot. Speed is important. When the goblins come back, we'll both be in trouble. Pinokin tried to persuade Skeleton Jack. Skeleton Jack agrees to join your territory. Skull Jack race. Undead skeleton class. Merchant LV.8 affiliation. Fertile Fields Trading Guild. Emerald territory attributes. Strength 3, Constitution 3, Agility 3, Intelligence 15, Charisma 15. Divine gift from the god of mischief. Joker flattery and fancy words make it easier to persuade others. When making any language-based checks, charisma is multiplied by 150%. Skills. Persuasive speech LV.8, Jack's flattery, has an 80% chance to successfully sell to any customer. Bargaining LV.8, always able to get a 20% discount when buying goods. Oh, as a merchant of the Fertile Fields Trading Guild, you actually worship not the god of trade, but the god of mischief? Pinocchio was a bit surprised. Jack, helping Pinocchio cut open the vines of the cage, explained, "Come on, you don't know how fierce the competition inside the guild is. If you don't take shortcuts, you can't compete with others. Besides, as long as you sell your goods, you're a good merchant." Interesting idea. I hope the god of mischief grants your next talent related to business, not clown tricks, Pinocchio said with a funny face. Oh, SHT, you actually called me Pinocchio? What? Have you heard of someone with the same name? Pinocchio looked even more confused. My god, there are still people named Pinocchio in the world? That's so strange. What's wrong with the name Pinocchio? Just because I'm named Pinocchio doesn't make it weird. Pinocchio blushed furiously, as if hit on a sore spot. Oh, all right. Your name is normal. Now hurry up and find some loot. Maybe those goblins will come back. I was watching eagerly as they took away all my goods. After cutting open the cage, Skull Jack quickly ran to a nearby thatched hut to search for loot. Meanwhile, Pinocchio approached the dead ogre goblin chieftain to see if it had dropped anything valuable, since he had a talent for war plunder that could increase loot chances. Blue Soul Orb, a fragment of the goblin chieftain's soul containing its important memories, possibly holding its skills from when it was alive. Pinocchio didn't hesitate and activated it himself, as none of his subordinates deserved such an item. You have gained 50 battle experience points. You have obtained 1 faith crystal. You can offer this item to any deity to gain their favor, only from leader-level units or clergy units. You have learned the team skill, Savage Roar. Grade, C effect, boosts the morale of your team, 10-50% charm. This is a very good commander's skill, perfect for lords. Morale can also be useful when supervising servants. However, this strong corpse cannot be taken back to plow fields. It's a waste. My skill is to awaken skeletons, not enslave them. They have their own consciousness, and awakening them recklessly will likely cause them to attack. Skeleton Jack is dragging a large box out of a thatched hut. If he weren't already dead, tears would be streaming down his face. Goblin brats. These are carefully selected goods, but they don't recognize quality. All the good stuff is broken, and they leave behind worthless things. Just be happy to have survived. Pinocchio picks up torches from under the pod and plans to burn this cursed cannibal tribe to the ground. The tribe's primitive buildings are made of dry branches. Throwing a torch starts a quick blaze. As for setting fire to the forest, hoping it doesn't cause a large wildfire. Hopefully, the forest elves have firefighting teams. Regarding the destruction of buildings, the War Plunder talent even dropped an E-grade schematic for a goblin hut, a very material-efficient building made from branches, easy to construct. For Pinocchio, this is even more useful than an S-grade blueprint. In the future, the cats can live in such cheap structures. You have completely destroyed a small outpost, the Ogre Goblin tribe. You gained 5 Lord Reputation points. You gained 50 experience points. Title Achievement. Goblin Annihilator January 5th, can be earned by destroying 5 goblin tribes or killing 100 goblins. As the entire tribe's flames ignite, Pinocchio and Skeleton Jack, carrying a chest of spoils, rush back to the Emerald Territory.